Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamansandadhami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramo-panishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yan Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Verse number 4. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu
Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu
Khammano buddhirevacha
Khammano buddhirevacha
Ahankara iti yamme
Ahankara iti yamme
Bhinna prakrutirashtadha
Bhinna prakrutirashtadha
Apareyamitastvanyam
Apareyamitastvanyam
Prakritim vidhi me param
Prakritim vidhi me param
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Yedam dharyate jagata
Yedam dharyate jagata
Etad yonini bhutani
Etad yonini bhutani
Sarvani tyupadharaya
Sarvanityupadharaya
Aham kritsnasya jagatah
Aham kritsnasya jagatah
Prabhavah pralayastatha
Prabhavah pralayastatha
Mattah parataram nanyata
Mattah parataran nanyata
Kinchidasti dhananjaya
Kinchidasti dhananjaya
Mai sarvamidam protam
Mai sarvamidam protam
Sutre manigana iva
Sutre manigana iva.
So the seventh verse said Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. He Dhananjaya, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti. The kinchidasti, there is nothing whatever which is parataram, superior to me, anyat, other than me, or inferior to me. In short, there is nothing whatever other than me. Now this question arose because Lord, Aham Krishnasya Jagatah Prabhavah Pralayastasa. The second line of 6th verse said, Aham Krishnasya Jagatah Prabhavah. Prabhuti Asmadi Prabhava, I am the origin of the entire universe. Pralaya hai, I am that in which the whole universe merges, and I am one by whom the universe is sustained. So I am the, technically speaking, I am the source, the material cause of the universe. Now how do you become material cause? And also the efficient cause, the intelligent cause. Because when Lord Krishna says there is nothing other than me, I am the only cause, usually Ishwara is projected as the creator, as the efficient cause, intelligent cause. And this is accounting for the material cause that usually Ishwara secures material other than him to create the universe. Because that is how the model of creation is. Like a pot maker takes the clay, the material, and constructs makes a pot out of that. In this familiar example, the pot maker, the efficient cause is different from clay, the material cause. The efficient cause is intelligent, sentient. Material cause is unintelligent, inert. That being the usual understanding of what the cause is, therefore Lord Krishna says, there is nothing other than me. I am the only cause. Meaning that I am the efficient cause as well as the material cause. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. I am the both nimitta and upadana karanam, the efficient as well as the material cause. How does that happen? To explain how I am the efficient cause, the intelligent cause, and also the material cause, Lord Krishna describes twofold Prakriti. Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha. The ahankariti amme, the 5 elements, and manaha buddhi ahankara, meaning the gross and the subtle bodies which forms my personality. Lord Krishna says that is my Prakriti, meaning that is through which I create. Prakarshena kriti yogyatvat prakriti. The word Prakriti is usually used for the material cause. Prakritischa, Brahma Sutra says that Ishvara is also Prakriti, the material cause. Then how is Ishvara or Lord Krishna, or Lord, is the efficient cause? Itastvanyam prakritim vidyame param. We know that anyam is another Prakriti also, other than this 5 elements, etc., the lower Prakriti, the material cause. Jiva Bhutam Mahabaho, of the nature of Jiva, the intelligent one, the sentient, the conscious being. So interestingly, Lord Krishna describes the inert and conscious both as his Prakritis. The inert is the material cause, the conscious is the efficient cause, meaning that, really speaking, I am not directly efficient cause or material cause. I become the cause of the universe through my Prakriti. I transcend both of them. And that way, Aham Krishnasya Jagataha Prabhavaha Pralayasthatha, I am the very origin, the sustenance, the merger of the entire universe. Based on this, then Lord Krishna said in 7th verse, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, Mattah parataram anyat, matta anyat other than me, mattah parataram superior to me, therefore inferior to me, Nanyat kinchidasti, there is nothing whatever other than me. Meaning that I am both the causes, the efficient cause as well as the material cause. So this, as we said earlier, is a unique contribution of Vedanta, where Vedanta teaches that Ishwara is also the material cause. All other traditions, of course, describe Ishwara as the creator, the efficient cause, but then he stands apart from Jagat or the creation. Here he is both the maker as well as the material. In that sense, all that is Ishvara. Sarvam Khalividam Brahma. What is Brahma? What is Ishvara? Again, Lord Krishna amplifies the statement in the second line of the 7th verse. Mai sarvidam protam sutre maniganaiva. Sarvidam, all of this, protam is woven into me. Sutre maniganaiva. Now, two examples are given actually here. In this line, second line of 7th verse, Lord Krishna provides two examples to explain who he is. Mai sarvidam protam. All of this is woven into me. I am the very thread, the warp and the woof, the horizontal and the vertical thread which make a cloth. So like the thread is for the cloth, I am for this universe. The thread is the material cause of the cloth, and so also I am the material cause. The thread pervades the cloth, so also I pervade the entire universe. There cannot be cloth apart from thread, and so also there is no Jagat apart from me. I pervade everything, I am the self of all. The second example is Sutre Maniganaiva. So Grathitam, not Protam. So just as Maniganaha, Mani means a jewel, Maniganaha, a whole group of jewels, is Protam. So Sutre Maniganaha eva. Just as the jewels or the pearls are threaded into the thread. I am the thread that passes through all the jewels or all the pearls of a necklace. So just as the thread passes through, informs, pervades, sustains all the pearls in a necklace. The interesting thing about the necklace is that you see the pearls but do not see the thread. But then you know that pearls could not be in an arranged manner, in an organized manner, had they not been sustained by a thread. So even though in a necklace we do not see the thread, but we know the thread is very much there, otherwise what will happen? All the pearls will disperse. There cannot be a harmony which a necklace represents, because there is a thread sustaining that whole universe of pearls. So also Lord Krishna says, I am the very harmony, the very law that sustains the whole universe, that upholds the entire universe. The thread upholds all the pearls. So also Lord Krishna says, that's the reason why word dharma also is used. Dharana dharma. That is, uphold is called dharma. In that sense, Lord Krishna says, I uphold the entire universe like a thread upholds the pearls in a necklace. So two examples. I pervade the universe as the thread pervades the cloth, and I sustain the whole universe just as the thread sustains the pearls in a necklace. So that is why all there is the thread which makes up the whole cloth or fabric. And to explain, the examples are well known, that sometimes on a fabric there is embroidery. There is one thread that makes up the whole embroidery where there are various designs. In fact, an elaborate embroidery may create a whole world there. There may be a river, there may be a garden, there may be trees, there may be birds, there may be animals as a deer, some hills, some human beings. So, all of this world of the garden and the river and the hills and the animals and birds, the sentient, insentient, all of this is made up of one thread. So sometimes when we are children, the elder sister is very often making these embroideries. The child comes crawling. That poor girl has placed her embroidery, but the thread is hanging down. So this fellow picks up the thread and he starts moving about, and the thread is pulled out and out and out. If you are observing that embroidery, you find that the deers are gone, the human beings are gone, the river is gone, the hills are gone, the whole universe is gone. The whole universe of embroidery is reduced to one thread from which it came. So how one thread can create different designs or patterns in an embroidery? In that sense, Lord Krishna also means to say, the various patterns that you find in the universe, various designs that you find in the universe, I am the thread that makes up all those patterns, all the designs. Mai sarvadam protam sutre maniganaiva. And just as sutra of the thread sustains all the pearls or the jewels, so also I sustain the entire universe. Although here the Tikakara says that when a thread upholds the pearls, the thread is different from pearls, understand? So it's not a very apt example. You could improve the example. We can improve. Like a golden thread sustaining golden beads. In the olden days, we used to see, in many years ago when I was living in an ashram, there was an old Swamiji who was wearing a mala, which he had himself, in fact, woven. So from the thread itself he would make the beads. And thus, what sustains the beads also is the same thread, because he makes the beads from the same thread. Just as one thread is both the pearls or the beads that are there and the one that sustains. So then there is no duality. In that kind of an example, when you say that the thread sustains the pearl, you can little bit take an objection, that the thread is different from the pearls. But if you imagine beads also made out of the same thread, then the thread is a bead and it pervades everything, sustains everything. So thus, to support that statement, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya, like the thread can say in a rosary of beads that I am everything, I also sustain, I also pervade. And thus, how Ishwara, our Lord, is one non-dual truth, one without a second. So to explain the non-duality, all there is Ishwara, is explained with the help of these examples. So this is the most important verse of this chapter, where Lord Krishna said that Arjuna, I will tell you jnanam as well as vijnanam, yad jnatva neha bhuyonyat jnatavyam avashishyate. Knowing which nothing remains to be known. If thus Ishwara is known as the only reality, only thing that there is, then knowing Ishwara, you have known everything. And this is the theme of the Upanishads also, in the Chandogya Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, where this is inquiry, kasmin bhava vijñāte, from the vijñātam bhavati iti, knowing which everything becomes known. So, what is the importance of emphasizing that all there is Brahman, all there is Ishvara? What is the importance of emphasizing this thing? Is for us to look at our own self, because everything is Ishvara. Everything is Brahman, then naturally I am also Brahman. So in a way, Lord Krishna is teaching that, hey Arjuna, you are Brahman. I am a very self, and therefore you are no different from me. You and I are one. Which is stated later also. Kshetrajnam Chap viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Hey Bharata, know me to be the self in all the upadhis. Well, Lord Krishna reveals himself to the self of all. Or self Arjuna, nothing but Arjuna, none other than Arjuna. The reason why Vedanta emphasizes this non-duality, emphasizes the point that knowing when you as well know everything, is to ask us to look at ourselves. Because we said number of times, we have said earlier, that we are always aware of ourselves. The self or the Atma being consciousness is self-revealing, and therefore I am constantly conscious of myself or aware of myself, which is a problem and then which is a solution also. Being aware of myself becomes a problem, because it's likely that I may have a false perception of what I am aware of, just as being aware of rope is likely that I may perceive that as a snake. If the rope is not seen, or I am not aware of the rope, it is pitch darkness and there is no likelihood of my taking it to be a snake. If in a daylight, broad daylight, a rope is recognized as a rope, then also there cannot be any delusion of snake or Brahma of snake. But when rope is seen, meaning I am conscious of rope and do not recognize it as rope. This unique condition is what creates this adhyasa or superimposition. And similar condition exists about me, that I am aware of myself, but then I do not recognize the true nature of myself. That's how ignorance is explained. And that's why every human being entertains all kinds of complexes about himself or herself. And therefore Vedanta's teaching that you are Brahman, you are limitless. Of course, this comes to us as a great surprise. I'm willing to accept that Ishvara is limitless. Ishvara is non-dual. Say that I am limitless is something I'm not really ready to accept. And so Vedanta teaches, it doesn't just make a statement, shows how, what is Ishvara and what is his self. And that way, by this knowledge, we can overcome all our complexes about ourselves and become free. केन केन धर्मेण विशिष्टे त्वयि स्वयं पुरोतमेति. Well, Lord Krishna says, all of this is woven into me, is all strung into me, like the pearls are strung in a thread, so also the whole universe is strung into me and the thread that sustains everything. So now Lord Krishna describes how to see Ishwara, how to meditate upon Ishwara. A statement is made that what is the Ishwara? How do I see you, Lord? You say that everything is strung into you, but we find that a thing is strung into its own cause. Just as this ornaments, all these marks, of course, a very beautiful thing here of the pearls being strung in a thread. You can say that this ornament is strung in the gold, meaning that we know that the effect is strung in the material cause, or effect is pervaded by the material cause. But Lord Krishna, we don't find you. We find that the gold sustains or ornaments are strung into gold. Then we find that the earth, the dharma of the earth is fragrance, so we see that earth is strung into fragrance. Each one is strung in its own material cause. Then, how do I see you? So Lord Krishna then says that I am that material cause in which each one is strung, and therefore to help us recognize Ishwara, meditate upon Ishwara, and thus see Ishwara, Lord Krishna gives various examples here of how he pervades the various aspects of the universe, or how the universe is strung into him. So, start from the verse number 8. रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
रसोऽहम् अप्सु कौन्तेय
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
शब्दः के पौरुषं नृषु
शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
रसः अहम अप्सु हे कौन्तेय. He Kaunteya, aham apsu rasaha. Up means water. And perhaps you know that the word up is always in plural, therefore apsu in water. I am the rasa, the very taste. I am the very taste in water. So this is well known from our initial lessons, elementary lessons in Tattva Bodha. So each element has its own guna or the attribute or the quality. The space, the guna of space, shabda or the sound. The element air has its guna or the dharma of sparsha, the touch. The eyes, the fire has the color. Water has taste. Earth has smell. That's what Lord Krishna is saying here. He takes one element after the other and shows how I am that very quality of that. And thus, so rasu apsu he kauntyam rasaha, I am very taste in water. Meaning water, taste is the very self of water. Taste pervades the water. Therefore, I pervade the water, I am the very self of the water. And therefore, that water is my glory, rasa. Or various rasa also, because rasa means a taste. Now, this makes it easy for us to meditate upon Bhagavan. Even when you are enjoying the various rasa, it may be sweet, sour, pungent, bitter. So whatever kind of rasa you are enjoying, you can meditate upon Ishwara as that very rasa. In that sense, these verses help us to recognize Ishwara and remember Ishwara, and possible to ultimately sustain the memory of Ishvara. Because in the next chapter Lord Krishna will say, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. That hey Arjuna, at all the times may you remember me. So rasa is many. So in fact there are many. So rasa means the taste also has its own vibhuti. The whole universe is vibhuti of the Lord, but rasa means taste has different vibhutis, different manifestations, such as sweet and sour and pungent and bitter and etc. Rasohamapsu kaunteya pravasmi shashi suryayoho. Shashi means Chandra, the moon, Surya, the sun. In sun and moon, I am the very Prabha, the light. I am the very light in sun and moon. Meaning I, who is light, manifest also you can say as sun and the moon. And so, sun and moon and all other that you should also include. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyato bhanti, kutaya magnihi. So sun and the moon and stars and planets and fire, all the luminaries. I am the very light in all the luminaries. I am the light that manifests all these various luminaries. Pranavaha Saravedeshu. In all the Vedas, I am the Pranavaha, I am the very Omkara. So Pranava pervades the entire Vedas. It is explained that the entire Veda is emerged from Pranava. In Om, three matras, Akara, Ukara, Makara. And as we have seen in the Mandukya Upanishad, these three matras represent all these group of threes. Traim, Tisro Vrittihi, Tribhunamato, Trinapi Suran. Traim, the three Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Akara, Ukara, Makara. Tisro Vrittihi, the three stages, the waking, dream, deep sleep. Tribhuvanam, the three worlds, Bhuhu, Bhuha, Swaha, the earth, intermediate world, the heaven. Trinapi Suran, the three devatas, the fire, air, and sun, or Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. So how the Omkara is seen as pervading the entire universe. The universe is conceived as made of all these groups of three, even sattva, rajas, tamas, gross, subtle, causal, and so on and so forth. And thus, Pranava with its three matras represents the entire universe. And from Pranava has come then, so from Akara, Ukara, Makara, the three Vedas came, the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda. And there were Pranavaha, Saravedeshu, I am the Pranava, the Omkara in all the Vedas. And so Veda is nothing but the manifestation of Omkara. One Omkara is represented or is explained or elaborated in all the Vedas. Pranavaha, Saravedeshu, I am the Pranava in which all the Vedas are sustained. Shabdaha Khe, Kham means space. In space, I am the Shabdaha, the very sound in the space, which is the quality of space. So you can say that the space is sustained by sound. The Vedas are sustained by Om Pranava. The sun and moon, all luminaries are sustained by light. Water is sustained by taste. Paurusham Nrishu. Nrishu, again seventh case. Indru means human beings. I am the Paurusham. So that which is essence of Purusha is called Paurusha. Purushasya bhavaha Paurusham. Yataha pumbuntihi nushu. So that because of which we see that he is a Purusha or a human being. So that which makes human being what he is called Paurusham. Or Paurusham, Shaurya, Dhairyadirupam. So if you want to use Purusha as a strong person, like a macho, then Shaurya, Dhairyadirupam Purusha, the courage and the fortitude, and all this is what represents Paurusham. So that's what I am in the Paurusha, human being. In short, Samanya Mai Sarve Vishesha Protaha. You can say that all Vishesha, all the specifics are Protaha. They are all sustained by Samanya or the universe, universal. And thus every object consists of Samanya and Vishesha. Just as this bangle, gold bangle, has Samanya, which is gold, Vishesha as bangle, a name and form. So every name and form represents Vishesha or a particular manifestation of Samanya or the universal. In short, Lord Krishna described the Rasa, Rupa, Gandha and Shabda, Sparsha as a very Samanya upon which Vishesha or those various elements are sustained or supported. And Pranavaha, Paurusham, etc. Then now, the next verse, Lord Krishna says, Punyo Gandhah Prithivyam Cha
Punyo Gandhah Prithivyam Cha
Tejaschasmi Vibhavasau
Tejaschasmi Vibhavasau
Jivanam Sarvabhuteshu
Jivanam Sarvabhuteshu
Tapaschasmi Tapasvishu.
Tapaschasmi Tapasvishu.
Now here Lord Krishna uses an adjective, Punyo Gandhah Prasivyam Cha. Prasivyam in Prasiva earth, not only Gandha or the fragrance, but then sweet fragrance I am. Sugandha, the sweet fragrance I am. What about Durgandha? So what about stink? So here Bhashyakara explains that Punyatvam Gandhasya Svabhavaha Prasivyam Darshitam. The earth, by its own nature, always is fragrant. But then how do you explain this bad odor or stink that you see experience? Apunyatvam tu gandhadyanam avidya adharmadhi apeksham. The human beings, by adharma and avidya, ignorance that causes the sense of aham, ego, aham and mama, I and mine, which then divides the whole universe as likable, dislikable, raga, dvesha. So avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, this is what is the personality of human being. So Bhashyakara says that basically fragrance is always sweet fragrance. But the ignorance and the papa, dharma, which is perpetrated by human being, is what turned that fragrance into a stink. So stink is not the nature of earth. But then the fragrance is sort of distorted into stink on account of the avidya, adharma of human being. So this is samsarina bhuta vishe samsarga nimittam bhavati. Bhashyakara says that because Lord Krishna uses the adjective punyogandha, that I am the sweet fragrance. I am the pure fragrance. I am the very auspicious fragrance. That means we should understand that. So punyo rasa, everywhere we should also add the adjective punyam. So whether it is fragrance in the earth, the taste in water, the color in the fire, the touch in the air, or sound in the space, in all of them, these elements as they are created. In the process of creation, these first 5 subtle elements are created, which have these respective gunas or qualities. And when they are created, they are punya, meaning they are pure and beautiful. And then, of course, because of what the other entities or other creatures don't do that. There's no papa or adharma on their part. Meaning that other creatures, there's no adharma there, they always follow the dharma, they don't do any papa or they don't violate any order. The human being so says, samsarinam bhuta vishesha samsarga nimittam bhavati. Samsari means human beings. And because of our dharma and papa, which are then, they pollute these elements, and that's how we have the impure fragrance and impure sound, etc., etc. So why is this to be stated? Because Lord Krishna used the adjective punyo gandha. So Bhashyakara says punyo gandha, the pavitra or the auspicious fragrance, sweet fragrance. That word punya, the adjective punya must be applied to all the elements also. And whatever opposite we find is nothing but the result of our own karma. So even then also it is very clear that human being has polluted this planet from the day one. Except that in the beginning, human being was not powerful enough or strong enough to spread that the adharma, because he had a very limited scope or capacity. As a human being created more, and because of technology, more and more powerful weapons and powerful entities, then his influence spread. Now he has polluted the whole planet, But then all the pollution that we find, which ultimately causes pain to our own self, is all due to, says, avidya adharmadi apeksham. It is adharma of the human being. How does adharma get to be created? Adharma meaning violating the dharma or violating the basic values or order. And that is the result of the insecurity and selfishness of human being. The reason why I violate a value is when I am overcome by greed or anger or lust, kamaha, krodha, lobha, the lust, anger, greed. Trividam naraka siddva, that's what creates naraka, meaning hell in the whole universe. So whatever hell is there on the planet Earth is all created by the kama, krodha, lobha human beings. Anyway, in short, if you want to clean up this planet, male technology, this is just by the way said anyway, because it's always there in my mind, that people want to solve the problem by technology. The alternate sources of energy and then purification, stuff like that. But technology cannot go too far. We have to change ourselves. From adharma, we have to transform ourselves into dharmic people. From consumers to the contributors. So, real dharma in the universe is contribution, as Lord Krishna has pointed out, that the yajna is going on there. Every element contributes. If human being also follows that dharma, that's the basic dharma of being a contributor. You be a consumer, that means that you are consuming much more than what is in your right or what you need. So the only way to reverse the whole process is by being contributors, by minimizing consumption, meaning the whole problem of this adha apunyatvam, of that pollution, the sinfulness, all of this can be solved if we transform ourselves from the consumers to the contributors. That's all. That's the basic solution which human being doesn't want to adopt anyway. He deserves his right to be a consumer and to waste and to pollute, and he wants technology to solve his problem. Anyway, that's by the way. Why am I saying this? Punyo gandha. Basically, what is the nature by itself is pure, is blissful, is always blessing, always favoring us. That is the essential nature of nature, Prakriti. Samsarinam bhuta vishesha samsarga nimittam apunyatvam bhavati. The samsari, not just human being, but samsari means consumers. And so, therefore, this whole trend of consumption has created the apunya or the bad fragrance, etc., stink. So, natu swabhavataha is not that the stink is the nature of earth, fragrance is the nature of earth, and that goes for all the other elements. Tejaschasmi vibhavasau yat tejah sarvadahana prakashana samartha rupam. So this teja, the effulgence which is in the fire, sarva dahana prakashana samartha rupam. So that because of which the fire illumines everything, the fire burns everything. That's called teja. That is the essential nature of fire. So tejas chasmi vibha also means fire. In fire, and the very tejas means that very nature by which the fire illumines and fire burns. Sita bhasvanam rupam punyam tadamasmi. And so that white and brilliant brilliance, that the effulgence which is there in fire, which is basically punyam, meaning basically blessing. That's what I am. So punyam teja, that adjective punya must be added to others also. So punya ugandha, punyam teja vibhavasau. Chakarat vayu punya ushna sparsha atvaranam apyayakah. So that the coolness which is there in the air, element air, which comforts the people who have been, scorched by the heat of the sun. So that is the punya sparsha. That very sparsha, the touch, that's what creates comfort and ahlada, the pleasure in the human beings. So that's why we found example in the Upadesha Sahasri. How the shadow creates madhuryam. When you're sitting under a shadow of a tree, then there is the pleasure on your face, because that's what the cool touch does. Jivanam sarabhuteshu. What is jivanam? Yena jivanti sarvani bhutani tat jivanam. That by which all the living beings are sustained. Yena jivanti, that which keeps the living beings alive is called jivanam. That's how it's explained here. And so he says, annarasena amrutakhyena ityartha. That very annarasa, the essence of the food which sustains all the living beings is called jivanam. That's one explanation. or Jivanam, Pranadharanam, Ayuhamasmi. You can say that Jivanam meaning sustaining life, Ayuhu the longevity, Ayushya that sustains all living beings, that I am. So you can, that is how also you can meditate upon Ishvara as present in all the living beings as the very longevity or that which sustains the life. Jivanam sarabhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Tapas means austerity. Tapasvi means an austere person. So tapasvishu nityam tapoyukteshu. Who is tapasvi? Not a person who just now and then performs penance. But the nityam tapoyukteshu, tapasvi means whose nature it is to perform penance. So there are many people whose life is just full of penance, austerities. In the austere people, the very austerity I am. Vanapasthadishu yat tapaha. So this tapas or penance is the basic dharma of vanaprastha. Of sannyasi, of course, the pursuit of knowledge is the primary thing. For vanaprastha, the basic dharma is tapas or penance. Vanapasthadishu, well, of course, is there in brahmachari also, grihastha also, everywhere tapas or penance is there. Life of vanaprastha is basically characterized by tapas. Shitoshna, kshutpipasadi, dvandva sahanam. So vanaprastha is essentially commanded. The Shruti, in fact, enjoins a vanaprastha to deliberately suffer from dvandva of Sita and Ushna. Meaning, in the hot, in the summer months, you must go out and stand or sit under the sun and do the penance, something like that. In winter, you must do, stand in water, and do your penance. So this is how somewhere, in some places, the dharma of a vanaprastha is described. But basically that's called the tapas. Shitoshna, kshutpipasadi, dvandva sahanam. Tapas means penance. Sahanam, putting up with or suffering from the dvandva, the pairs of opposites such as heat and cold, hunger and thirst, etc. So that kind of tapas, in the tapasvi, I am that tapas. Tapaschasmi tapasvishu. Tapasvina mai protaha. I am the tapas in which all the tapasvis are all threaded. I pervade the tapasvis. Tap as tapa. Tapas, I pervade all the tapasvis. So these are the different kind, you can say that Lord Krishna is describing different patterns or embroideries as we see in the whole universe. And thus appreciate how Ishvara pervades one thread in varieties of ways and variety of designs or embroideries. Then further Lord Krishna says, Bijam mam sarvabhutanam
Bijam mam sarvabhutanam
Viddhi partha sanatanam
Viddhi partha sanatanam
Buddhir buddhimatam asmi
Buddhir buddhirmatam asmi
Tejas tejasvinamaham.
Tejas tejasvinamaham.
He partha sarabhutanam mam sanatanam bijam viddhi. He partha viddhi. Here Arjuna, may you know. Bijam, the very seed, meaning here the word bijam means cause. Because the seed is the cause of the sprout. So when there is sprout in a garden or place, then we infer the presence of seed. So presence of cause is inferred from the effect. The fact that effect is there, universe is there, means that there must be cause. And whatever we see in fact is a karyam, is in effect. And so there are many, many causes are there. And so the clay may be called the cause of the pots and pans, and gold of the ornaments, and water of the waves, and seed of all the sprouts. So different causes are there, and so but we see, O Lord Krishna, we find that all effects are pervaded by their respective material cause. So Lord Krishna says, Sanatanam Bijamahasmi. All those causes are variable, perishable, meaning that the clay is the cause of the pots and pans, but clay itself has its own cause. So therefore, every cause also has its own cause. So Sanatanam Bijam. I am that very cause which is without the cause. And so expression is there, who is Ishwara? The causeless cause, this is how they say. Sanatanam Bijam. So normally Bijam or the seed, after giving rise to effects such as sprout, gets destroyed. A seed gets destroyed after giving rise to effect of sprout. Is so also if Lord Krishna, or Lord also is the seed of that nature, which gets destroyed after giving rise to the effects such as universe, then of course there is no Ishvara left. So Lord Krishna says, I am the very Sanatanam Bijam, the eternal cause, the immortal cause, imperishable cause of the universe, meaning that even after giving giving rise to the effect such as universe, I remain intact. So this is how Lord Krishna is describing his glories, and thereby also in a way telling us how to meditate. So these verses are meant for meditation upon Ishvara as Saguna Brahma. So in the Bhagavad Gita, meditation is taught. Meditation of Ishvara is taught in this manner. So we imagine that that time there were perhaps no, worship of Ishvara. There were various devatas were there. Like Indra, Varuna, Agni, all devatas were worshipped. And the Vedas also sometimes describe their form for you to meditate upon. But here, Lord Krishna describes in a tangible manner how he is manifest as a tangible universe, and thus helps us to meditate upon him with the help of what we experience in this universe. So we'll continue in the next class.